The hip-hop world is in absolute shock tonight. Reports are pouring in that Papoose has been rushed to the hospital after what sources describe as a violent altercation involving Remy Ma's son. What was once seen as one of the strongest families in the rap game has now exploded into chaos, betrayal, and heartbreak. Insiders claim that the tension between Papoose and Remy's son had been quietly brewing for months, but no one ever imagined it would turn violent, according to witnesses. The confrontation went down inside Remy's home after an explosive argument spiraled completely out of control. Screams were heard, furniture was thrown. When the dust settled, Papoose was left badly injured. Fans are stunned, demanding answers. How did things get this bad between a man who raised that boy like his own and the woman he once called his queen? Why did Remy's son turn on Papoose? And what deep family secrets could have caused such a brutal fight? Social media is already going wild with rumors, everything from jealousy to hidden betrayal, and even whispers of an unspoken truth that's been tearing the family apart for years. But what's real and what's speculation? Tonight, we're breaking down everything we know, the shocking hospital footage, the behind-the-scenes drama, and the truth about how Remy Ma's entire family may be falling apart before the public's eyes. The news broke like a bomb across social media. Papoose, the man everyone once saw as the calm protector of hip-hop's royal couple, had been hospitalized after a violent altercation with Remy Ma's son. Within minutes, hashtags like #PrayForPapooc and #RemyFamilyDrama were trending across every platform. Fans couldn't believe it. How could this happen inside a home that had always seemed so united, so loyal, and so strong? According to early reports, the confrontation took place late Sunday night at Remy Ma's New Jersey residence. Sources close to the family claimed that Papoose and Remy's son, whose name we'll withhold for privacy, had been arguing for weeks over family matters that had slowly turned personal. But what no one expected was for those private arguments to explode into full-blown violence. Neighbors reported hearing shouting, glass breaking, and what one described as a deep, angry voice followed by a loud crash. When the police and ambulance arrived, the scene inside was described as chaotic. Papoose was found unconscious, bleeding from a head wound, while Remy's son appeared visibly shaken but uninjured. Remy Ma, according to insiders, was screaming and crying uncontrollably, begging paramedics to save her husband's life. Witnesses say she followed the ambulance to the hospital, refusing to leave his side. But the moment this story hit the blogs, the internet was split right down the middle, with some blaming the son, and others wondering what could have driven him to such an extreme act. Theories spread like wildfire. Some fans believed it was a money issue, with whispers that Papoose had been trying to take control of certain business deals Remy's son didn't approve of. Others speculated that the tension ran much deeper, that there had been personal resentment brewing for years between the two men. People who had followed Remy's career knew that Papoose had stepped up to be a father figure when her son was still young, standing by Remy through her prison sentence and keeping her family intact. He wasn't just a stepfather, he was the glue that held everything together, which made this fight even more shocking. An anonymous family friend told a reporter, "They've had arguments before, but this was different. The energy in that house had been off for weeks. Papoose was trying to set some boundaries, and Remy's son didn't take it well. But nobody thought it would go this far." As footage of Papoose being wheeled into the hospital hit TMZ, fans' hearts broke. His face was bruised, his shirt torn, and his expression blank. A man caught in the middle of a storm he never saw coming. Outside the hospital, cameras captured Remy pacing, her hands covering her mouth clearly in disbelief. But as emotional as it all appeared, rumors quickly began surfacing that this wasn't just a random outburst. It's part of a deeper family war that had been simmering quietly behind closed doors. According to insiders, tension between Papoose and Remy's son began months ago when Papoose allegedly tried to intervene in the boy's personal life. There were reports of disagreements about money, respect, and loyalty, and even claims that Remy's son felt Papoose was trying to replace his real father. Those words, reportedly shouted during the argument, are said to have triggered the entire incident. Behind the scenes, people close to the couple say Papoose had grown increasingly frustrated with what he viewed as reckless behavior. He wanted to guide the young man, but his attempts were often met with defiance. He loved that boy like his own, one insider said. But lately, they couldn't agree on anything. Papoose was old-school discipline, responsibility, respect. Remy's son is young and emotional, and he felt like Pap was trying to control him. What made matters worse was Remy herself being caught in the middle. She had always been fiercely protective of her family, but this situation forced her to choose between the man who had stood by her through everything and the son she brought into this world. Insiders described her as torn in half, trying desperately to mediate, but only making things worse by refusing to take sides. When the news broke that the confrontation turned violent, fans immediately revisited old interviews, searching for signs of trouble. In one past clip, Papoose spoke about the difficulties of blended families and how love doesn't erase all challenges. At the time, his words seemed general. Now, they felt like a warning. Meanwhile, the hospital released a statement confirming that Papoose was in stable condition but would remain under observation due to head trauma. The report mentioned severe bruising and a possible concussion, but no details about how those injuries occurred were given. Still, the public didn't need confirmation. They had already decided what happened. Across Twitter, users expressed a mix of sadness and outrage. Remy's family used to be goals. This is heartbreaking. How could her son do this to Pap? That man loved him like his own. This is what happens when secrets stayed buried too long. Something deep went down. As the pressure mounted, Remy's PR team tried to contain the damage, urging people not to jump to conclusions until the full story came out. But the problem was, nobody wanted to wait. The internet was already painting its own version of events, and every theory seemed worse than the last. Some insiders went as far as to suggest that Papoose had discovered something shocking about Remy's son, something he confronted him about right before the fight. The details were murky, but whispers of betrayal and a hidden secret kept circulating through it all. Papoose's fans flooded his social media with love and support. His last post, a motivational quote about staying calm in the middle of chaos, became flooded with thousands of comments. "You didn't deserve this," one user wrote, sending prayers your way. Back at the hospital, Remy reportedly refused to leave his side. Sources say she was seen crying in the hallway, repeatedly saying this wasn't supposed to happen. Family members arrived quietly, avoiding reporters and refusing to answer questions. It was clear this wasn't just a random fight. It was a breaking point by the end of the night, as Papoose lay recovering. The internet had turned into an emotional battlefield. Some fans blamed Remy for letting the situation get this bad, while others defended her, saying she couldn't have predicted her own family would implode like this. But one thing was undeniable: something in that household had shattered, and it wasn't going to be easily repaired. As dawn broke, with paparazzi camped outside the hospital and fans demanding answers, one source close to the family said something chilling. This didn't just happen overnight. This was years in the making. What you're seeing now is just the explosion. The cracks were there all along. And with that, the stage was set for what would soon become one of the most shocking family sagas hip-hop had ever witnessed. The world wanted answers, but the truth was only getting darker, as details from that horrifying night continued to pour in. Things are only getting darker. What initially seemed like a moment of heated family tension has now spiraled into a full-blown media storm that's threatening to destroy Remy Ma's entire public image. According to multiple insiders close to the family, the argument that led to the fight wasn't just about Papoose trying to discipline Remy's son. It was about money, loyalty, and years of resentment that had been building behind the scenes. Reports claim that Remy's son had recently found out about a major trust fund issue, one that allegedly left him feeling betrayed by both Remy and Papoose. He reportedly believed that Papoose had taken control of funds meant for him, using his influence to delay or block access. Whether that's true or not remains unclear. But those allegations alone were enough to send him into a rage. A source close to the situation told the Shade Room. Remy's son felt like Papoose was trying to control everything: the house, the finances, even Remy herself. That's when he snapped. He told Papoose, "You've been playing daddy too long," and from there it got physical. Those words, according to the source, were the exact moment things exploded. What started as shouting turned into chaos. Papoose reportedly tried to calm things down, but the shouting only grew louder until punches were thrown. One insider said it was a scene straight out of a movie: glass breaking, people screaming, and Remy trying to step in between them. Neighbors later confirmed hearing loud arguing, followed by what sounded like furniture being smashed against the walls. Minutes later, someone called 911. When paramedics arrived, they reportedly found Papoose unconscious on the living room floor with visible head injuries. He was rushed to the hospital immediately, while Remy stayed behind to speak to police, visibly shaken and in tears. And that's where things got even more complicated. Because once police began questioning everyone at the scene, Remy's son allegedly refused to cooperate, demanding that Remy handle it privately. But with an assault that serious, the situation couldn't just be brushed under the rug. The moment news of the hospitalization leaked, social media erupted. Twitter exploded with the hashtag pray for PAPOOSE, while others accused Remy of protecting her son instead of her husband. The internet instantly turned the family's private pain into a public spectacle. Fans flooded Remy's recent Instagram posts with thousands of comments, asking why she hadn't spoken publicly about what happened. But the silence only fueled speculation that the situation was worse than anyone imagined. A few people close to the couple have hinted that the relationship between Remy and Papoose had already been fragile for months. Whispers of marital tension had been circulating ever since. Rumors of Remy's infidelity with Easy, the block captain, went viral. Though Remy denied those allegations, fans noticed that Papoose had slowly stopped appearing in her photos, and that their usual public displays of unity had faded. Now, with this new violent episode, those same fans are wondering if everything finally snapped. One commenter wrote, "Papoose was loyal for years. He raised her son like his own. And this is how it ends. It's heartbreaking." Another added, "Remy always said family over everything, but it looks like even she couldn't keep her house together." And just when people thought the situation couldn't get any more intense, reports surfaced that Papoose's family had gotten involved. His sister allegedly showed up at the hospital furious, demanding to know why the incident hadn't been reported publicly. One family friend claimed that Papoose's relatives were urging him to press charges, even if that meant going against Remy's son. But sources close to Remy say she's begging him not to, terrified that it would destroy what's left of the family. But there's another twist, and it's one fans didn't see coming. A leaked hospital record from a supposed inside source suggested that Papoose's injuries were far more severe than initially reported. He didn't just suffer a few bruises. He allegedly sustained a concussion and several fractured ribs, suggesting the fight wasn't one-sided at all. Fans are now questioning whether something deeper was going on that night. Was it really just an argument about money, or was there a hidden betrayal that triggered the violence? Several unconfirmed reports claim that during the argument, Remy's son allegedly confronted Papoose about a secret, something he said he'd overheard between Papoose and a family member. Whatever it was, those who were there say that moment is when all hell broke loose. Meanwhile, insiders say Remy has completely broken down. She's been staying off social media, avoiding interviews, and keeping her circle tighter than ever. Sources say she's barely eating or sleeping, overwhelmed by guilt and fear that her personal life could end up destroying her. entire career, and the industry is watching closely. Some insiders even claim that certain brands have started to pause their partnerships with Remy until the dust settles. It's a PR nightmare that no one in her camp knows how to control. As for Papoose, reports say he's recovering slowly, but emotionally he's completely shattered. A nurse from the hospital reportedly told media outlets that Papoose hasn't allowed Remy or her son to visit him since the night of the attack. If that's true, it could signal the end of one of hip-hop's most iconic love stories. A relationship that survived prison, fame, rumors, and years of challenges, now hanging by a thread after one violent night. But insiders are hinting that the story doesn't end here. There's talk that Remy's son might be facing serious legal trouble, and that investigators have obtained surveillance footage from inside the house that could change everything. And according to a shocking new report from TMZ, that footage may reveal a hidden hand in the fight. Someone no one expected to be involved. The question now is, will this footage clear up what happened, or completely destroy Remy Ma's legacy once and for all? Because in this twisted story of love, loyalty, and betrayal, the truth might be the most painful blow of all. As dawn broke the next morning, the atmosphere around Remy Ma's home was heavy with tension and silence. Paparazzi had already surrounded the neighborhood. Helicopters hovered overhead, and the world waited for an official statement, but none came. Instead, what emerged were whispers, leaks, and an eerie sense that something even darker had been uncovered overnight, according to multiple sources close to law enforcement. Investigators had retrieved security camera footage from Remy's mansion, footage that allegedly captured parts of the altercation between Papoose and Remy's son. And what that footage showed reportedly shocked even the police in the video, which has not been made public but was described by insiders. Remy's son can be seen yelling at Papoose, pacing around the living room while Remy stands between them. At first, Papoose appears calm, sitting on the edge of the couch, speaking quietly. But when Remy's son points directly at him and shouts something about ruining his life, Papoose stands up and the shouting match begins, according to one investigator. The footage revealed a third person in the background, a shadowed figure who quickly left the frame, just before the fight began. No one knows who it was, but fans online have started speculating it might have been one of Remy's longtime friends, or possibly a family member trying to mediate. The argument turned violent seconds later. Remy tried to break it up, but her son allegedly swung first. Papoose retaliated in self-defense, and chaos broke loose. The fight ended only when Remy screamed for help and her son stormed out, leaving Papoose collapsed on the floor. But here's where the story takes an even more shocking twist. Reportedly, after the fight, Remy didn't call 911 immediately. According to police logs, there was a 22-minute gap between when the altercation occurred and when emergency services were finally contacted. That small window of silence has now become the most controversial part of the investigation. Insiders say Remy was begging her team to keep everything off the record, terrified of how it would affect her image. Her publicist allegedly warned her that if news of a family assault went public, it would end her career overnight. But once Papoose's injuries became visible and a neighbor called the police after hearing shouting, it was already too late now. With the footage in police hands and the truth spreading like wildfire online, fans are demanding accountability. Twitter has turned the situation into a global conversation, with hashtags like #JusticeForPapoose and #RemyRespond trending simultaneously. Some fans are defending Remy, saying she's a mother caught between her son and her husband, while others believe her silence speaks volumes. One viral tweet read, "You can't call yourself a queen and let the king of your castle end up in the hospital. Remy needs to speak up now. Remy needs to speak up now." Meanwhile, reports suggest that Papoose's camp has officially filed a restraining order against Remy's son, citing ongoing safety concerns, though Papoose himself hasn't spoken publicly. A cryptic message posted on his close friend's Instagram story read, "Sometimes the people you protect the most are the ones who hurt you deepest." That post alone sent fans into a frenzy, convinced it was a direct message from Papoose about Remy and her son. Behind the scenes, people in the industry are whispering that this might be the end of the power couple era for Remy and Papoose. Several major sponsors and TV producers have reportedly paused future collaborations with QE. If you're using like a scanner app and it's like you're like they're good at scanner app and it's like you're gonna die. Like, look at this. And we all know I've been exploring Remy until the investigation concludes. Her public appearances have been canceled, and her name has been quietly removed from upcoming event lineups. One insider told The Breakfast Club, Remy's trying to keep the family together. But this isn't just drama anymore, it's a legal matter. Papoose's people want justice, and Remy's people want silence. It's a war within the family. Even more shocking, court insiders claim that Remy's son could face felony assault charges. Depending on how severe Papoose's injuries are officially classified, prosecutors are allegedly waiting on the final hospital report before making their next move. And then came the bombshell that truly sent the internet into chaos. TMZ reported that the mysterious third person seen in the footage has been identified, and it was none other than Remy's cousin Tamika, someone who has been part of Remy's inner circle since day one. Tamika allegedly told investigators that she witnessed the entire fight unfold and confirmed that Remy's son threw the first punch. But she also claimed that Papoose had said something unforgivable moments before, something that completely changed the tone of the argument. According to Tamika's statement, Papoose allegedly revealed a secret he'd been keeping from Remy for months. That he had been in contact with her son's estranged father, trying to fix things behind her back. That revelation reportedly sent her son into a rage. Now the internet is torn. Was Papoose just trying to help the family? Or did his actions reopen old wounds that Remy never wanted exposed? What's certain is that the fallout has been devastating. Papoose is still recovering from his injuries, while Remy is reportedly living apart from him for the time being. Their mansion is said to be under strict media surveillance, with family members coming and going in secrecy. Some sources close to the couple say Remy has been trying to reach out to Papoose privately, but he's refusing to take her calls. Others claim that lawyers from both sides have already begun discussing a potential separation agreement if things can't be resolved. As for Remy's son, his social media accounts have gone completely silent. His friends have deleted posts, and he's reportedly gone into hiding to avoid public backlash. Meanwhile, fans have flooded his old photos with comments like, "You betrayed the man who raised you, and this is beyond forgiveness." In an emotional twist, however, one of Papoose's old interviews has resurfaced online, one where he passionately spoke about raising Remy's son and loving him as his own. In that clip, Papoose said, "Blood doesn't make you family. Loyalty does." That single line has now become the most shared quote across social media. A haunting reminder of how quickly loyalty can turn into heartbreak. And as the investigation continues, one thing is clear: there's no easy way out of this for anyone involved, whether charges are filed or not. This incident has forever changed how the world views Remy Ma, her son, and the once unshakable image of her marriage to Papoose. Insiders say there's still one more layer to this story that hasn't gone public yet, a rumored confession that could completely shift public sympathy. Some claim that Remy's son has been telling close friends that it wasn't supposed to go that far, and that someone set him up to lose control. If that's true, it opens the door to a whole new conspiracy. Was this fight purely emotional? Or was there someone manipulating events from the shadows, trying to tear the family apart for good? As fans wait for answers, one thing is certain: this scandal has shattered the illusion of perfection that surrounded Remy and Papoose's love story. The family once celebrated for unity is now a cautionary tale of how fame, secrets, and anger can destroy even the strongest bond. This isn't just another celebrity feud, it's the painful unraveling of a family under the public spotlight. And whether the truth brings healing or devastation, one thing's for sure: Nothing will ever be the same again. What just happened to Remy Ma and Papoose is beyond anything the hip-hop world ever imagined. A family once built on loyalty, love, and strength has now been torn apart in front of millions, and the damage may never be undone. Papoose, still recovering in the hospital, has remained silent, while Remy's entire world is collapsing under the weight of her son's actions and the secrets that have come to light. But here's the question that everyone's still asking: who's really to blame? Was it years of unspoken pain that finally boiled over? Or was there someone pulling the strings behind the scenes? And more importantly, can this family ever find peace again? As the investigation unfolds, we'll be watching every twist and every shocking new detail that surfaces. This story is far from over, and the truth could still destroy everything that's left. If you've been following Remy and Papoose's journey from the beginning, then you already know this is more than just gossip. It's the heartbreaking collapse of one of hip-hop's most iconic love stories. Make sure you subscribe right now and turn on all notifications, because the next chapter of this story is about to explode, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. Until then, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you believe is telling the truth? Team Papoose or Team Remy? Because after this, hip-hop's royal couple may never be the same again.